Well, today we are here to talk about marketing automation. My name is Alex Duran. I am the Marketing Automation Manager here at Services. And today's agenda, we're going to be going over what is marketing automation, what are the concepts of marketing automation, and then some of the strategies for implementing marketing automation. So first off, what is marketing automation? What is the definition of it? Well, by definition, it is software platforms, technologies, and strategies designed to more effectively market on multiple channels, online, and automate repetitive tasks. And okay, great, that sounds nice, but what does this all mean? Well, to get a better understanding, let's take a step back. Have you considered the following? And by considering the following items I'm going to bring up, this will help make marketing automation more relevant to you. Have you considered a lead conversion strategy? Are you aware that 80% of marketing leads are not converted to sales? Are you spending time cold calling, or are you losing your prospect's interest? How about having an identifiable and measurable sales funnel? About 70% of companies have not attempted to identify or measure their sales funnel. Do you understand the entire process that your customers go through, or do you simply acknowledge when a sale is made at the end? Do you have a system to qualify leads? Roughly 60% of leads are not properly qualified. Are you wasting time chasing these dead leads? And finally, do you have a defined lead nurturing process? 65% of companies, for some reason, do not actually nurture their leads. Do you allow your leads' interest to build up, or do you force sales in them immediately? What about your existing customers? How do you communicate with them? Now, what do you think actually helps with all of these? If you've guessed automation, you're right. Automation is the solution because it allows you to manage leads and move them through your sales process with minimum effort. You can identify steps in your sales funnel process. You can measure each of these steps, and then you can maintain multiple funnels as well, all while having this done automatically. You can develop a lead nurturing strategy. You can build on your prospect's interest and maintain that level of interest at their pace. And the key is at their pace, at their speed, what the information they're ready to acquire. You can also convert qualified leads. You can determine what is a qualified lead, first of all, with the system, and then you can stop chasing these dead leads, and you can focus only on the return on investment type of leads that will give you the best. And again, have this all done automatically. The benefits speak for themselves, but you can get, as I mentioned, better leads. Leads that pass through an automation process are nurtured and they are qualified. You get improved effectiveness. You can improve sales intelligence. You can get real-time notifications. You can have real-time prospect tracking. You can increase your bandwidth. By automating repetitive tasks, marketing teams can focus on advertising, and your sales team can focus on developing relationships. And then there's added clarity. By having reporting in real-time data, it increases transparency across your departments as well as throughout the rest of your company. Now, to give you a better understanding of all this, let's go over an example. Let's say you are a widget manufacturer. Your marketing team spends hours driving visitors to your website, and your sales team spends hours collecting and ideally qualifying leads and making sure and chasing after them. By automating, you change the strategy to allow sales to do more selling, to allow marketing to create innovative campaigns. And here's how this is accomplished. People visit your website with different levels of interest. You want to tailor their activities based on their individual interest, and you want to guide them on a path based on their speed. So in this case, each action would trigger a pre-planned workflow. A contact on your widget website is looking up, widgets. They download, for example, let's say a top 10 widgets used documentation. Now the system will automatically send them an email on how widgets are created. A few days later, it'll send them another email with different styles of widgets. The key here is you want to provide relevant information when it's needed. Messages can change to be event-focused or to have specifications of your different offerings. Depending on the actions that a lead takes, this will determine if you should send a message maybe with a limited time special offer. Websites, their content can also automatically be personalized based off of interactions. For example, you might decide to switch from having an offer that shows the best-selling widget to now more of a message that shows buy a Square widget and get a special case free with it. What you're essentially accomplishing here is you are gradually heating up your leads. You are nurturing them to engage them with your business. And this is where the concept of a drip campaign is implemented. When a lead is warmed up, you finally go into sales mode and you strike. You can empower your sales team with minimum effort. At this stage, your sales team can reach out, armed with a full activity of history that these leads have, and now the message when they speak with these leads are more tailored to them, more to their need, and less generic. Now, it doesn't end here. This one-time customer can now become a repeat customer. For example, you can set up a upsell campaign where you can upsell the platinum plated widget. Or how about cross-selling, where you can cross-sell the Sprocket 1000 series add-on accessories. And if you know that your particular widget has a lifespan of 2 years, you can set up a just-in-time replace message maybe 6 months before. Your return on investment per customer will increase, all while not losing communication with your existing customers. And additionally, you can have embedded within your workflow a customer satisfaction survey. Happy customers, they'll receive a thank you email with suggestions to express their satisfaction on social media. And yes, unfortunately it does happen, but you'll eventually get an unhappy customer. And if so, the system will give you opportunity to examine why they're unhappy. You can fix that situation, and in the meantime, it can automatically send a gift offer with the goal to convert them to a satisfied customer. And then once they're satisfied, then you send them over to social media. To sum it up, your marketing automation workflow allows you to nurture your leads, then heat them up, ready them for your sales team, and then turn a one-time purchase into a lifelong customer, all while saving time and effort while boosting customer happiness. And in a nutshell, that's pretty much what marketing automation is. Now let's go over some of the concepts of marketing automation, such as buyer personas, segments, sales funnels, and lead scoring. If you're not familiar with these concepts from other general areas of marketing, I'm going to go over right now on how they are implemented with marketing automation and their importance. First up is the buyer's persona. A buyer's persona is a semi-functional representation of your target client. It's basically a more fine-tuned target audience. You want to determine specific interests and challenges that these people have. The more you know about these buyers, the more effective your personas will be. When defining personas, there are 3 key questions you want to ask. First, what problem does this person have? What solution do I provide? And finally, why am I their best solution? The more precisely you can use this person-to-person marketing and sales, the more effective your campaign will be at building personal relationships. Nearly every company has 3 core personas. The first is a decision maker. This is the person who is responsible for the overall budget approval. Then there's the influencer. This is the person who recommends the solution. And finally, you have the user or the actual participant of the product or the service. Now looking into different segments, and the segments is how you want to separate all of your lists when you are looking into marketing automation. This allows you to target content at specific persons versus doing a blast and blast type of email. And by being more personalized, you can increase open rate significantly. The first one is the persona of the row. This is the segment we just spoke about, and it's absolutely the most important type of segmentation you can have. Then there's customer status. You know who your customers are, so make sure that that is utilized. You can segment customers from prospects. That's just one example. And your customers and prospects should be receiving very different messages. Then there's the level of product interest or service interest. This is the type of segmentation is based on tracked behaviors. This segment can be used to trigger automation programs that keep the leads engaged. So what product do they show more interest in? Once you are able to acquire this information, then you can tailor and focus all your messages to that. Then there's engagement. This is where you use lead scoring rules to define a top, middle, and bottom of a sales funnel. And as a matter of fact, let's go into the sales funnel a little bit more. Understand that as people move through the decision-making process, their need for a specific type of information changes. What you want to do is sort out your audience by the level of engagement. And level of engagement of how much interest they're putting and how many different emails they're opening, what is it they're doing. In order to help you do this and determine the different levels of engagements for a sales funnel, consider the decision-making process that every person goes through. First is the status quo. This is when the person is not quite aware of their problem. This is where advertisement comes in handy to pull people in. Then we have the disruption phase. This is what's generally considered the top of the funnel. This is when the person has become aware of a problem, but they're not quite sure what to do with it yet. This is where you want to have information that is just top level, industry style type of information. Now, the next level is the research. This is considered the middle of the funnel. This is when a person is actively looking for solutions to a problem, and they're trying to get more information on it. And this is where you would provide information that is more focused on what you can do for them. Then there's the deliberation stage, and this is typically what is considered the bottom of the funnel. This is when the person has narrowed down to a couple of options, and they're still weighing their pros and cons. This is where your message should be more sales heavy, more sales focused, because you want to make sure that your brand is on top. Because the final stage is the decision phase, and this is when the person has decided to act on the information they've collected. They're ready for the sales, and you want to make sure you're the one that they're going to call. To put it all together so you can see how the right message needs to go to the right person at the right time, let's consider these parts of the funnels, these type of messages. On the top of the funnel, this is where we want to focus on problems and pain points. Use big picture information, industry-focused content. For example, you can have a social media post of, here's the hardest thing we deal with in the industry. Then in the middle of the funnel, you want to change your message to be more focused on solutions. Educate. Help prospects with their buying criteria. For example, an ebook that says the 5 best practices for generating more revenue. Then the message that you want to give in the bottom of the funnel is to help the leads commit. Show them what it's like to work with you. A great example would be a case study, 6 ways we've solved the problem. And all this will lead into the concept of lead scoring. All automated marketing activities should be associated with a score value. A lead generation scoring uses a point system to assign values based on predetermined criteria. So for example, on the screen here, let's say we send an email. Okay, we just have 0 points. There's no points added. We send an email. However, if someone opened the email, it showed a little bit of interest. So we'll give them 2 points. If they clicked on the email, now not only were they interested to see what was in that message, they want to learn more. So now that means their engagement is higher, you want to give a higher point. And same thing goes on where if they fill out a form, you give them more points. If they downloaded some type of media, then you know that they are really interested. And what you do with these scores is the sum of these points is what leads to a final score. For example, leads will generally fall into a funnel-specific category based on their decision-making process, like the ones we had discussed. And over here, with this concept, lead scoring will become fundamental in identifying the leads based on their engagement level. So on the top of the funnel, let's just say they've only opened a couple of emails, they've done very little, they may have a total score of 0 to 10. As they go down the funnel to the next phase, their score level may increase to 11 to 29. Now the system will automatically change their message. Same thing happens where now they're in the bottom of the funnel, where you want to have more of a sales-focused message. Again, their total score might be somewhere between 30 and 39. The message changes. Because then finally, let's just say in this example that we decide that after having 40 points, this is when they are nurtured. This is when it's a hot lead, and they're ready. They're ready to buy. So you want to make sure that once they get to this point, then the sales team is automatically notified with the whole history that this lead has gone through, what they've downloaded, what they've looked at, and they can be more informed and really tailor that message and make this lead become a customer. Now that you're familiar with marketing funnels, the buyer's journey, and lead scoring, let's discuss a strategy of an automated campaign. And we're going to do this with a 5-stage methodology. Of course, first you need to define your target audience. But once you do, the first step is the attract stage. You want to gain your audience attention. This is where you want to create and upload your content. This can be white papers. This can be an ebook. This can be a video. You also want to create landing pages where you can link these materials that you've created. Then you also want to create an AdWords campaign. You want to run an AdWords campaign that will bring people to your landing page. You can also promote on social media, and again, bring people to your landing page. The next stage is the capture stage. This is where you want to identify who you're actively engaging with, and this is where forms come in handy. And it doesn't have to be a long, complicated form that would discourage people from actually filling it out. The beauty with marketing automation is you can capture this information piece by piece. So, for example, just to download the first material, you might just ask for an email and a name. That's it. Then as this lead is going through different areas of your website and they're more curious about other information, then the form will automatically change to just acquire maybe a company name and a phone number. And you can see how you'll slowly start building a full database of this lead. The third stage is the heart of the automation, and this is the nurture stage. This is where you do a drip campaign with your emails. This is where you actually build and send out the emails. You personalize the message based off the information you've captured, and you can work on some A/B tests, see which emails work better, see which landing pages work better for you. Then the fourth stage is the convert stage. This is where you track and measure conversion metrics. And this information is valuable because everything in marketing automation is very dynamic. You can make changes at any time. You can adapt very easily. Then the final stage is the expand stage. This is where you want to leverage relationships and create your customers. And additionally, with the information you've acquired from the previous stage, now you have the option of modifying your existing campaign, improve upon it, or you can start a brand new one. And maybe the new one even links to the old one. You have many options. But in its simplest form, that's it. These 5 stages is generally how you would put together a strategy for marketing automation. Of course, it can be a lot more in-depth and detail. You can really get granular with if-then statements. If someone opens an email, what happens? If they don't open the email, what happens? But from a top-level view, it really is this simple. Now I would like to take just a quick moment to introduce System 7. This is the way that Ad Services conducts marketing automation, and it's a process we invented called System 7. It does everything I just talked about, and we'll be more than happy to talk to you about it. So if you have any additional questions with that, feel free to give us a call at 954-922-9395, or send us an email at service@adservices.net. We'll be more than happy to provide you with additional information or get on the phone with you to answer some questions.